Good evening, this is the Raleigh Finance Committee meeting, February 26, 2019. We're being recorded. We have a joint meeting with the Personnel Advisory Committee. And call the meeting to order. And first order of business is to welcome our newest member, Tom Corwin. Tom, welcome to the Finance Committee. You're coming on at a very good time.
Thank you.
And we'll start off by reviewing the minutes of January 8th. Do we have any questions or discussion on the minutes?
No, they look good.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of January 8th.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are approved as written. Okay, next item is the joint meeting, and I'll turn it over to Sharon.
I'll give you a minute to
Which
We're
way you
all
put
going?
it on the other side of the room.
Good to sit in the big chair.
Yeah, I think the chairs are just the same, so I'm just sitting here. Okay. I'd like a motion to open the joint meeting with the Personnel Board and the Finance Committee.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
We have a roll call vote. Start with you.
Aye.
Aye.
Paul Jalbert.
Aye, Tom Corbin. Aye, Peterson Solo.
Hi, David Zizza.
Aye, Dennis Roy.
Aye, Sharon Emery.
I'll accept a motion on the part of the Personnel Committee to go into joint session with the Finance Committee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor with a roll call vote?
Aye, Larry
Aye.
White.
I did Peterson.
I'm Ola Vassar.
Okay, the meeting is now open.
I
We'll
guess
bring it to you people.
I'll start off so he can kick in when I say the wrong thing. Don't say enough. Basically, about 3 years ago, we realized that the personnel plan for the town employees was way out of date. We realized it before that, but it was the first time we really were able to start working on it. We hired a consultant and started working on the personnel plan. At the same time, we had done a study of salaries, I don't know, 10 years ago, Debbie, was it 8 years ago? 2012, and we knew at that time finances were very tight. We did make some increases in salaries, but at that time we didn't increase them to the point where we would like to be in competition with other communities. In the meantime, what we did over the last 10 years basically is gave a 1 1/4%, we got basically a 5 or 7 step pay scale. Each year, each employee goes up 1 step. That step is 1 1/4%. At that time, the consultant recommended that that the step should be like 2.5% between steps. So we already were low. For the last 10 years, we've been, as Bob Snow says, very frugal, and we've only given 1% cost of living increases on top of the 1 1/4%. So basically, all the employees have been getting 2 1/4% for the last number of years. If we look around, other communities are going far beyond that. School system, for instance, was giving raises that were much bigger than that, and we were unable to really fund more than what we had the ability to give the 2 1/4%. So as a result of that constant pressure, I would ask you to look at the oversized sheet. We hired the consultant back, and she made a study of the same community we studied before. So for the public in particular, where they're not watching on TV, we compared our salaries for all our non-union management positions to the towns of Oxford, Essex, Georgetown, Groveland, Hamilton, Manchester by the Sea, Merrimack, Middleton, Newbury, Rockport, Topsfield, Wyndham, and West Newbury. Now, those are the towns that are all in this area. We did not include places like Haverhill or Newburyport or Amesbury, the cities. And many of these towns are very close to our size. But that's who we're competing against to hire people for these positions. So what the chart basically shows you, without getting into a lot of minute detail, you can study it more later, is the high and low salaries for those positions on an hourly basis. If you go over to the far right, where the pluses, where it says the percent Rowley data is higher or lower than average. Other than a few positions, you can see we're well below. Council on Aging, for instance, is between 21 and 42% lower than surrounding towns. 7 and 21% for the next position down. 9%, 27% below. 17 to 31% below. 3% to 14%. And then there's a couple in there that we're a little bit above. But most of them are substantially below what the average of the surrounding communities is. So, with that being said, we knew we had funding available from the new meals tax, which is producing somewhere between it will produce somewhere between $120,000 and $150,000 a year in the revenue. And we figured that this, if we were going to do it, this is the time we needed to step up and try and take care of the employees who work so hard for us. We're very lucky, very fortunate. We've had a steady workforce of management, all the people. I don't know any of the management people, but unions. We've had very little turnover. And our concern is that as these people look at benefits that other towns are paying, and look at the benefits that other towns give, that we're falling dramatically behind. So we asked the commission to make up a proposed sheet of what we should be paying. Obviously, we're far enough behind that we felt as a committee, and with Debbie as our personnel officer, we could not afford to. Our goal was to go up to the 50% of the average. So we don't want to be the highest payers. We don't want the lowest payers. We want to be somewhere in the middle. And to afford what we could do, we're still not up to halfway in most positions, but at least we're making a substantial increase. And then going forward in the raises in the future, we'll start looking at giving a little bit larger COLAs than we've had in the past, as long as we can afford it. So it's all about what we have for money, what we can afford, and what we can do to help out those employees that deserve to get a raise. So that's kind of what we were coming from. Now, understanding that, most years we've been, all the years in the past few years, other than a select position here and there, we've given 2.25% raise to each employee. This year, some are getting a little bit more, some are getting a little bit less in terms of how they fit into the average for these positions in other communities. So you're going to see a variety when you get the budget. We're not asking you to vote to approve or disapprove this tonight because we don't have a concrete plan. What the plan is that when people start submitting their budgets, the payrolls that are on these the non-union sheets, depending on how many years people have in, longevity, things like that. That's when you see a payroll increase of 6 or 8% in their budget. Each department will be able to explain it, but the reason is because we've increased these salaries. And keep in mind, these are management, non-union, basically management positions only.
No, all non-union.
All non-union. So like who's getting library pages, they're going to get an increase. The minimum wage is also hitting us because people at the bottom that we normally, summer workers for the cemetery, the library pages, some of those positions that are really low paying, we need to bring them up so they're at least getting the minimum wage at the state pass of $15 eventually.
Question? What about elected positions like the highway surveyor?
The personnel board does not deal with elected positions. We have no responsibility for elected positions. So what we're telling the elected officers is they're going to get, I think we're recommending probably a 3% raise, and if they want more than that, then it's up to them. We don't dictate or tell them what they deserve. They need to come in.
But you are recommending compensation as well?
Decision by the committee on anything to do with elected officials.
We don't determine. We try not to deal with them because
they follow the template usually, the
Yeah.
schedule, but it's really their decision on what they present.
If the highway surveyor wants a raise beyond the, say 3%, that's about the average, then he's gonna have to justify it, come in and look for it, and that's fine, that's up to them, they're elected. If they're not getting paid enough in reality, they can, you know,
Well,
it's
three
up to the
percent is,
taxpayers to decide.
3% is pretty good in these times. I mean, I work for the executive office of the state and the Commonwealth, and under Governor Baker, I mean, we got like 2%. So, you know, I'm just saying that because I hear this all the time about, you know, and I mean, I don't know what the other towns are doing, but I do know, you know, what the Commonwealth, you know, gives for a cost of living.
Well, we're going
And it's
by,
that's just been going back like the last 6, 7, 8 years now.
well, this is the second study we've had of all the surrounding communities, and, you know, I work for the state myself, so I know how times how, sometimes we did better, sometimes we did worse, so.
But you work for
Our
the,
competition is,
You work for the state
dealing with
police, so-
surrounding communities.
the state police pays better than, you know, most positions.
Do
So.
now, but they didn't used to. They didn't.
So what might the calculus be on these positions? Would it be something of a middling between how long they've been in their positions and how much of the disparity is between?
No, we basically took the disparity from other communities. And then we have our chart. If you look at the package, I think you have it. They have that there. No, they have the,
Well, this is the one that's been approved by this last.
no, I'm not talking about the pay, I'm talking about the category,
All the different categories.
the categories of where employees sit.
Yeah, no, that's just a spreadsheet that we're plugging in, that's not, so what we're trying to say is that wherever an employee falls in their current pay grade, on July 1, they would move to their next pay grade.
Oh.
So the current grid is in here, it's in the study, the FY19 current. So if they were on a pay grade, 7, step 3, they'll go to a step 4 on July 1.
Just to give you an
So they get
example,
an increase and a step at the same time, right? Get 2 jumps, pretty much, right?
Because, yes, the FY20 schedule, it will be implemented on July 1. It's not in effect now.
Now, did the study here take into effect job descriptions? Are they similar in nature? Is like the fire department workforce is pretty similar? I know the towns are population-wise are the same, but and the other thing is the personnel committee looked at health benefits? Because that's a drawback, I think, in getting people in Rowley, is they look at the rates. Yeah, the rates might be right, but when you look at the health benefits, I don't think it's comparable to some other towns.
We all agree that the health benefits are really short here. In other words, town pays 52%, the employees pay 52 something, and the employees pay 48. We used to pay 50-50. Most of the towns, some towns around are 60-40. A number of communities in the area are 75-25. The teachers, for instance, at Triton are 70-30. So that's another.
That might be
else we want to address, but
Yeah.
in this case, we're looking at this point in the pay, trying to address the pay. And it really comes down to what can we afford? We're not gonna, we don't have the money. We can't very well pay people for what we don't have, so.
But the health benefits seem to go up higher than cost of living and everything else. So, I mean, in my opinion, that should be looked at as well, because I think that, if you raised it to 50-50 or 60-40, comparable to what other towns are, I think that would attract more people, because in the long run, that's bigger. That's a bigger raise in July 1st than it is to get a couple bucks in your
What's
in your
been
pay.
happening, Dennis, is for all of you, is basically, many years, the insurance goes up to the point where actually the employees are taking on less money. Even
Yeah.
if we give them a 2.25%
Yeah.
raise, they're actually taking on less. So we are looking at the insurance. That's a bigger issue.
It has to be
That's
negotiated into union contracts.
Negotiated with the unions and
Yeah.
so on
Very
and so
complicated.
forth, so. And if you do it for one group, you gotta do it for everybody in town, has to be.
Yeah, but it might be worth just see what other towns that are on this list.
No, we are.
It's just so you get an idea of, are we way out of whack, or are we?
We are.
We are.
We are way out of
We know.
whack. We know that, we're gonna deal with it, it's just, at this point, we're dealing with
Yeah.
the money, and then the big thing is, this doesn't cover union employees. The Board of Selectmen and Debbie are gonna, have started bargaining with all 3 unions. And any of the health insurance stuff and things like that, whatever the unions bargain for, that'll be what the,
So again, I guess another question I had is who, the person that prepared this, did they look at, and they might not have, but look at the benefits associated with each position, like, you know, the fire chief gets his car to take home, vacations, all that stuff like that, which really affects the rate of pay they pay him as well, because if he's getting these other benefits, you know, they need to be factored in at some point.
yeah, those benefits are in a different, not related to this study, because it's,
Yeah.
you get a variety of factors, and when I looked last year with, 2 years ago, we were looking at trying to bargain the police contracts, so we went around and did a complete study of a variety of all the local police departments in the area. And there's such a variety of benefit differences from town to town that it's almost impossible to quantify, other than health insurance, really. I mean, there's all kinds of little benefit payments here, vacations, some use more vacation, some have more personal days, some have, you know, so it's very difficult on that basis. And the unions, believe me, they bring it into the Board of Selectmen, you know, Georgetown has this benefit, we want it, or Oxford has this benefit, we want it. So at this point, all we're dealing with is pay issues. This is gonna bring us up from where we are. It's not gonna put us to the top, it's not even gonna put us really halfway to the middle of what the surrounding communities are, but it's a start, and at this point, we're on top of this stuff now.
Now, what about the ones that are,
But, you know, so it's one step in a multi-step process, I guess is
what
what I'm
about the
saying.
ones that are like 25% or 20%? Will that mean that they won't get the same, will everybody kind of get the same increase across the
We
board?
kind of fit everybody, in other words, we didn't want someone getting a 30% raise, obviously. So what we did was, as Debbie mentioned, the fact that we looked at where the employees were, we created the new pay scale and then put everybody one step above where they are now in the new pay scale. So, like I say, it's not perfect, it's not, we would like to have done better.
And
but
did you
it's-
factor in the longevity bonus, or that's
No,
not?
longevity's got nothing to do
Because
with
the
this.
other- do all the
Longevity is on
towns-
top of whatever they get for.
Do all the towns have longevity bonuses, do you
Yeah,
know?
well, yeah, I think
Some do.
99% do anyway, I'm not sure, I wouldn't say everyone.
And that's not factored into base
But that's
pay.
not-
Well, I know it's not base pay, but it's still part of your, total, money package.
Yeah,
It
no,
still
it
comes
is,
out
it
of.
is, but-
So everybody on this sheet then, would they get roughly the same percent increase in their comp?
No, it's gonna vary from position to, if you later on, if you go home and take a look at this, you'll see that some positions are fairly close to what they should be getting, other positions are way far away, so.
See that?
Yeah, for example, you get like the assessor and the town accountant, they're 22%, 25% above, but then I'm looking at something like the town planner, it's like minus 32% and
Yeah.
minus 55. I would think that they would be given a bigger chunk and then little, if anything, to the ones that are well
Yeah,
above.
no, I mean, that's,
Yeah,
that
and
the
they have
plan?
contracts with the Board of Selectmen,
yeah,
so
those
those actually
are
are red
contract
circled.
positions, so
Those are
Okay.
red
they're actually,
circled.
they've been actually more than,
Okay, but it would bring it more in balance.
Yeah,
by
we're
pulling the-
we're trying to balance it out within the system we have.
Okay.
So that if where you sit on this chart, we basically tried to make the chart reflect an increase that's beyond what we've been normally giving. And so everybody's gonna get some kind of a rate, even if you're a little bit above or close to it, you're still gonna get,
So one thing I would-
2.5%, 3%, whatever.
One thing I would caution about, if you're getting this money, but you want to make sure that it's not just this year, it's got to be for, going off on forever, you got to lose money. Because if you have a downturn and, these,
Yeah.
and then you're going to be forced to laying off more people than you might had,
In the past,
if you.
some of you people have been here for a long time, we cut raises, we've actually reduced staff in lean times. So I mean, yeah, it's.
But we have looked ahead, which is why we're proposing using, we'll say, the meal tax revenue to fund most of this, and that should be fairly steady income.
Yeah, this is all financed by the meal, at this point, I mean, it's all one big pool of money, but we're able to do this because of the new income for the meals tax, because the schools are still hitting us with a substantial increase, although their increase this year isn't as much as it's been the last couple of years, so things kind of broke together. that when the new motel opens, or it's open now, but then in the next fiscal year, they're gonna be getting revenues from the motel tax. There were 2 or 3 marijuana establishments that may or may not get going, but if they do, that'll be some extra revenue. So we've done the best we can to estimate that, yeah, this revenue will cover us.
But the marijuana is not figured in at this
No.
time.
It's gonna be, I would say if the marijuana place eventually opens up sometime, probably this summer at the earliest, it'll be another year before we see any
And
tax
really won't
increase from that.
impact it until fiscal year 22 or
Yeah,
so.
probably 22, yeah. So we're being, one thing in this town, and one reason why we're a little far behind on these salaries is we've been very frugal and very tight on union contracts and on pay raises and stuff. And if you go back 10 years, the employees have gotten 2.25, basically 2.25% raise every year. And we're tight on benefits, like Dennis says, we don't pay as much insurance as other towns. So we're really behind in all these categories, most all of them, we're behind the 8 ball. So this is a small attempt to begin to catch up, be fair to the employees and try to let them know that we're on their side too. I mean, we have to be on the taxpayer side, but we also have to take care of those people who do all the work. And we've got a great bunch of employees in all these town offices and the highway department and the water department. You know, we got good people all over. And they've been pretty stable. There's very little turnover considering that we don't pay most, or we don't have the most benefits. But it's time to sit up and take note and try and do a little bit for the employees. Like I say, it's not going to solve all the problems. It's not going to even everything else. I'm sure there are going to be employees that are feeling they get the short end of the stick, but it's the best we can do, and we have to make sure we have the revenue, which we do at this point have the revenue.
Dave, I don't know, I'm missing something here. Why is there a double line, two lines for each entry? What does it mean? Like, I see the numbers change often. Sometimes they're the same.
Min and a max.
That's a minimum.
Oh,
and
okay.
max.
Okay, a lot of them is the same for min and max. It's just one set number.
Yeah, if you take like Hamilton for the Council on Aging Director, the minimum they pay is $35.53 and the maximum is $40.80.
Okay, but Rowley's are
I
all
put
set.
actual. I have an
Yeah,
actual.
those are actual.
I just put the actual in so you could just see what the actual
Okay.
today pay is.
Okay,
Rather than.
that's
the
why
range.
Rowley's so
Yeah, so you can see
consistent.
where the people that hold those positions, we have to break it into an hourly rate, there's so many part-time employees here.
Okay,
Our
so it's the
full-time is
range.
40 hours a week,
Yeah.
but we have people 35, we have people 30. So
Okay.
the only way to quantify is hourly rate,
Okay, thank
not an
you.
annual salary.
Like I say, the main purpose here is to let you know that when you get the budgets in, you're gonna see some differences in the pay and the salary increases. The salary schedule, and that's what it accounts for, is this data here. And the other thing is, if you take it home and you read it, give Debbie a call, or you're better off calling her, because she understands the spreadsheet stuff better than I do. Give her a call, and we'll have to answer questions and discuss further how we came to our decision. It's just, we wanted to give you, without taking a lot of time, a brief description of what's been done. And then we'll stand up on town meeting floor at the same time and justify what's been done. And I think that for the most part, people are pretty happy with the employees we have. We want to keep them.
Oh, definitely. Anyone else with a question?
So this has been approved by the Board of Selectmen?
Board of Selectmen, this committee voted, approved it, the Board of Selectmen voted it about 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And Debbie's doing up the budget packages at this point, soon to be distributed to various departments, and this is the wage scale that will be given out with those packages.
Anyone else?
No other questions?
So if this were to be, you're basing this year on the 120,000 to 150 you might have in meals tax? If next year is the same, would the same math just be applied to that, or to the raises, or?
They would go up. Every person would go up a step.
Right, okay.
In this schedule here, this is the schedule you're looking at.
All right.
So here is, we would have to determine what we could afford for a cost of living. So the cost of living for the past several years, since 2013, we took the grid, we applied a 1% to it, a 1%. So those 1% cost of living haven't been keeping up with the cost of living in comparable towns, which have been giving 2%. So you really have to forget about the step increases. When you look at it, the grid was only grown by 1% every year.
Yeah.
So had it maybe going 1 year 2%, maybe 1 year 1%, we probably wouldn't have fallen behind as far as we were on that fiscal 19 schedule you have in your packet. And that combined with the minimum wage, I can't stress how much that now the bar has been set so high that in back-to-back years, it's now 12 and then 13, when we were paying 10 something for, the lowest level positions. So that sets it so high, recalibrating this to say, well, semi-skilled workers now are here, and unskilled are here, and so you have to move it up, and it's really difficult. We're not the only municipality dealing with it. I know it's really hit the substitute teaching profession. We've seen that on the North Shore. Even the big cities are having that problem. So it's something that we have to realize that there's a significant impact to that, and you can't realistically hire positions when you're going to be $2 difference from working in the library to working at Dunkin' Donuts or someplace. So I just want to point that out. That's a big part of it, and I'm hearing it from other towns.
And keep in mind that in terms of next year's budget, if these budgets get adopted with this schedule, next year, if a person's in step 3, they're gonna automatically go to step 4, which will be a slight increase, and then the Board of Selectmen votes on what the cost of living increase will be added on to the step. So you get the step increase plus any particular cost of living, and we've been falling behind because like for instance, the school system, they're between steps is like 2%.
Well, it depends.
But it
Some
depends,
are
but at least it's
5, 6, 8%.
It's at least 2% between steps.
Yeah.
We're 1.25, so we consistently fall further behind. They've been generally given 2%. In the last 3-year contract they had, they gave 2% raise on top of the steps, 2.5 one year and 2.75 another year.
Plus
So-
cost of living,
Yeah, cost of living. So I mean, we're holding our employees to 1%. So I mean, we're falling further behind the school system, let alone what the surrounding communities are playing. So it's a difficult process, it really is, and we have the available, the stars are kind of falling into place, into alignment. We have the new revenue, and we just felt that rather than just turn it all over to the schools or turn it all over to something else, it's time to take care of and help out the employees a little bit. And like Dennis mentioned, we're looking at the insurance cost too. So
I
we hope to
think,
be able to do
I mean, that's
something
gonna
with
be a big nut, I know, but even if you look at it and see how far behind we are, and then, maybe the next, chance to make some adjustments, you can maybe
That's gonna come
adjust
through
it
the
up.
bargaining process.
Yeah.
Once, if you get the unions to agree with that, then we can come back, and if we agree with come to an agreement with the unions, then we come back and adjust everybody else, because if whatever we do for the unions on health issues, we have to do for all the people and all the town employees, so we definitely are looking to address that.
I personally think that's a bigger carrot than, giving someone a 5% raise if they have the health insurance, as like Dennis says, it goes up a lot, it's very expensive.
Health insurance is killing
And,
all of us.
Yeah,
Yep.
all of us.
And I'm retiree, any of us, a lot of us are retirees, and we feel it, Social Security rate, give you a raise in Social Security, and the Medicare goes up as much, if not more than so it's all over, it's a problem, and it's not gonna get any better anytime soon, so. And we could take a small step here, that's what we're aiming to do, and it's, believe me, it's been, this committee, the 3 of us, along with Debbie and Amy, does a lot of the work. We've been working on this whole process between the personnel plan and this pay thing for the last 3 years, and particularly Debbie and Amy, who do all the calculating and all the other stuff. The amount of work they put into this is incredible. And we sit here and criticize at the meeting, oh, why didn't you do this? How come you didn't do that, or whatever. So they put up with us, and it's been a good. We've been busy. We've been meeting the last few months, 2 or 3 times a month, at 2-hour or more meetings to come up with all this stuff and put it all together. So I think the Personnel Advisory Committee is really working as well as it's ever worked since it's been in effect. So Larry's been excellent, and Mo, the last 8 years, I don't know if you know Mo, she's
She's a worker.
our third member,
Yeah.
and she works hard, and we all put our heads together, we all come from different backgrounds, so, you know, it really pays off, and Debbie and Amy have been fantastic in putting all this stuff together, and then redoing stuff, come back the next meeting, and do stuff, and go back, and so it's really been an effort that's it's incredible, so.
Okay. I think, make a motion to close the joint meeting.
Make a motion that we close the
I'll second.
Roll call.
I, Paul Jalbert.
Hi, Tom Corbin.
Hi, Peterson, so.
Hi, David Zizza.
Hi, Dennis Roy.
Hi, Sharon Emery.
I'll make a motion to close the joint,
And adjourn.
and adjourn the joint meeting.
For something.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor, roll call vote.
I, Larry White.
I did Peterson.
I'm Ola Vassar.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Good night.
Great job you guys are doing.
Very helpful.
My phone is busy.
Even enjoy music.
Phones are busy over there, right?
All
Yeah.
right, nice chatting with you.
All right, thank you very much, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right. See you, Dave.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Dave.
Take care now.
Take it.
You're welcome. Oh, Henry.
Good night.
Good night.
Wait a minute.
Good night. Okay. Let's continue on with the budget expenditure sheet. And I'll still be getting the sheets monthly. And it's up to you whether you want to get the monthly report as well, even though we're gonna be kind of tied up with budgets. But if you want.
What do you mean, this?
Yeah. If you want the paperwork, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I'd like to get the paperwork.
Wouldn't
Just,
hurt. It wouldn't hurt to get it.
Well, just want to make sure. Okay. Looking at page 1. Any questions or comments? Nothing there. Let's continue on to page 2. Last month, if you were comparing stuff, we had a couple of budgets that were a little bit over, but those have all fallen back in line.
So why is the,
Listening.
wait a minute, oh wait, that looks okay. So January, what are we looking at now, about 60-40 now, or?
Oh, it's 43
now?
point,
43.6%.
43.6%, roughly 44%.
Any concern, Peter?
No, I thought one of them, but then, and then I thought about it, that looks fine, no, I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're all not linear necessarily.
No, in fact, some of
Most-
them are very, like the town accountant spends 90% of her budget the first week, putting in for dues and things like that. So you have that, and the pay periods get adjusted so that very little is a straight line, except for maybe, we'll say, selectmen's salary. That would be a straight line. Okay, moving on to page 3.
So actually, the salary for the assessor, that's under 50, it's under 50% when he.
It's roughly 44%. You divide it out.
What's that?
It's roughly 44% if you divide it. You're talking about the 39,000?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, divide it out to the 88. I did that before. I think it comes out to in line. You should have 44% left.
Really?
Yeah, just divide it out and it comes out.
You're looking at 01-141-5111.
Yep, 006.
006.
Okay.
88 minus 39, 45. Divided by 88. Yeah.
I checked most of these. Most of them pretty good in mine.
Okay, any other concerns about page 3? Okay, on page 4. Any concerns, questions?
It's, show my ignorance here. Title, tax, and taking. What is taking?
Which line
When they have to take land, if someone doesn't pay the taxes,
I'm sorry.
when people don't pay the taxes, they put a lien in the property, eventually they take it.
Ah,
So there's costs associated with that, I believe, that's what it's for.
Yeah, that's
ah,
what it's
okay.
Okay, page 6,
5?
5.
They just, the firefighter wages is a little low, it's 41.8% versus 43.6, so it's close.
But the firefighters, they haven't come on yet, the 2 new ones.
Right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they're below where they should be by about 2% right now.
But the,
I mean, it's not alarming at this point, but, just, the 85 grand that they took out is put back in, I believe, now, right, for the 2 firefighters they're applying for. But they won't come online till next fiscal year, right?
no, they're hiring now.
Okay, so will they have enough money for that, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that 85 that they took out
Because
temporarily?
it was going to be a lot more than
Okay, got it.
that.
Okay, but right now, if you divide the 137 by the 328, it comes out to 41.8. So when they put the 2 new firefighters on, I don't know if that'll be affected by that or not, you know what I'm saying?
Shouldn't.
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't,
It's all
but I
figured
mean,
in.
the numbers are, just divide it out, it comes out to 41.8 and it should be 43.6, so it's not, it's 2% right now, so we could have a little shortfall in that account at some point. We can look at it next month, see if that gets adjusted, back, or, I mean, I have no idea what.
The 85 isn't gonna go back.
No, I understand that. The 328 encompasses the part-time, not the part-time, but the 2 firefighters coming in now. It's already factored in.
Right.
I understand that, yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, when they hire these 2 new firefighters, whenever, they're gonna come out of that line item. And what I'm saying, the line item right now is just a little stressed out there, so. You follow me on that?
Yeah, I think I see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, we're about 2%
Right.
short right now. But I don't know why that's like that. Could be just something, you know. Look at it next month, see where it
Right.
goes.
So on the center school annex, for example, they're gonna pave, I guess in the spring, right, by the end of this current fiscal year, because they've got 19,990. So that's slated probably in April or May.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when but certainly they
'Cause
can't
it-
do anything now.
Right, right. But it must be scheduled by the end of the fiscal year, by the end of June.
Right.
No, that's
what
an
that means?
article.
It says networking budget 19,990, and so far, they've got the full balance remaining. So was that approved at last,
Well, that might be-
That's an old one, I think.
Yeah, that's an old one.
It hasn't been,
2015.
It's been paid
Yeah, so
Oh.
that's just left over, and they might
Left over.
reappropriate that somewhere
somewhere else. You
else.
see where it says 515?
oh, okay.
That's when they appropriate the money, and there might have been more,
It was a
I don't
separate
know,
article.
40,000 or something at the point. Now there's only 19
And the
left.
one above it is 500, so that's going back to 2,000?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah.
So why do they carry that?
Because they're separate articles, and separate articles, you cannot just go and use it for anything else. It has to be another town meeting vote to remove that and put it into something else.
Was that leftover funds from that time
Yes.
period then?
Yep.
Probably
Yes.
so,
So
yeah.
they don't return that
No, it's
excess
a
money?
separate
They-
article, does not get returned into the
Okay.
budget.
No.
They keep it in the central school, so they may have something for the central
Central
school at some
school needs
point, and then
something, they can go
they'll
into it.
reappropriate
Transfer the
that,
funds,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
rather than, add funds, they'll just take
Later
You
these.
on.
remember, like the water department, last meeting had a lot of transferring of funds
Yeah.
type of a thing, so
Okay.
we did the same thing. Okay. Page 6. Okay.
Guess we don't get many rabid animals.
It's strange that they have a category for inspector of animals than the animal control officer. It's another budget,
These are two totally different things.
yeah.
Okay, any other concerns? Page 6? Page 7? Any questions or comments, other than fighting?
See, the snow and ice is healthy, 76.5% left. It's It's probably some invoices from the last few storms, but we're still in the positive, which is good, because usually this time of year, we're going in the other
Been a
end.
very easy winter. They've been mostly little nuisance storms,
Yeah.
2-3 inches.
Weatherman said you could go out with a leaf blower for the next storm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Gotta go buy a leaf blower, though.
Well, the
Use my lawnmower.
the last storm, I heard this ungodly noise outside of my house at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I knew my shoveler was away for the weekend. His grandfather was out there with a leaf blower,
Oh, was he?
blowing the
That
snow
was pretty
away
heavy
from
snow.
me. Yeah.
That was pretty heavy snow.
Anybody have any big trees that fell around their property?
Limbs, branches, a lot of
Yeah, I got
debris to pick up.
I'm scared because I got these 100-foot pine trees that are like 40 feet away from the house, you know, it's always scary when I hear that
You
wind.
see them.
It sure
Watch
howled
them.
last night,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah, I had 2 sections of fence fall down at one of my places.
On the recycling, is that now closed? So this money here should stay the same, pretty much, right? There's no other expenses that will come out of there, right? Because it looks like,
I don't know whether they appropriated, I think, everything, so I don't know.
yeah, because I
if
see
there
the
are
adjustments,
remaining invoices that.
yeah, they added 10,490
Yeah.
to the 9,000, so, but it looks like that accounts down to $54, which is fine, but, you know, if the recycling center was just, I know it's not open, but I don't know if there's any other expenses that would, you know, that would be in the negative. But on the wages now, is that person that was there, is he now not working anymore?
Right, yeah.
Okay, because we have 53% of that left. Okay, so
There's
that.
nothing for him to work at.
Yeah, I guess so. So that number should be fine, even though it's
Right.
down to the nitty-gritty there. The only other comment, and I said it last time, and I'll say it again, I guess on the cemetery, that 1,000 should read 500. And I think that where it says adjustments, that's where the other 500 should go. I know they paid 1,000 this year because they carried the money forward, but it looks like town meeting appropriated $1,000. You know, it's only 500. And then they should have made.
You gotta go talk to the accountant to get it approved.
Yeah, well, all right, I mean, I just make a mental note so that
Yeah.
when we get the budgets for next year, that it shouldn't read 1,000,
No.
but.
Okay, anything else on 8? Go to 9.
See, veterans' benefits are healthy, we're up 69.4. That could, I mean, that could change overnight, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But like, right
something-
now, it's
yeah.
in pretty good shape, which is good.
Okay, anything else on 9? 10?
On 10, field maintenance, I see it's down to like 23.5%. And I was just wondering if that's gonna be enough to get through the fiscal year. I know they have a revolving account, so I'm assuming that whatever maintenance they gotta do between now and July will come out of there.
Comes out of that, the fees that are paid.
Yeah, because I mean, they spent a good chunk, you know, 25,000.
Yep.
And they left with 8,000, which is 23.5%, but spring, you got, you know, obviously you gotta get the fields ready and whatever, and I'm assuming, hopefully they got the revolving account that will help them with that.
Any reason why the library is down to just 25%? The first line?
Expenses. Depends
It
on
could
when
be
they buy the
anything, yeah.
books and when they do
So
the
they'd have to be
different
really lean, because 25% versus 44%'s a big.
But they have a revolving account as well, a healthy revolving account, so I'm assuming they'll probably take some of the money. They probably use our money first and then take that second.
Yeah, they were at 34% last month.
Yeah, so
Now
it's
down to 25, 29.
29 or 25, it looks like 25 on mine.
Mine says 25.
25.
Okay. Mine says
I don't know which
29.
version is the,
Was it, you
Just
have your
30.
balance remaining,
Okay.
here we go again.
is your balance remaining 30,155?
That's what I got.
15, so you have what, 20?
Yeah, 29.
Because somebody penciled this in,
Yeah, I
so
did
maybe they.
25 on mine.
What's your
Oh,
beginning
if you
balance,
calculate.
104, 149?
Yeah, that's what town meeting appropriated,
Yeah.
so that won't change, just the
How do
expenses.
those numbers compare to last year? What was their expense budget last year?
Probably was the same, because usually we level funded most of the budgets
Yeah.
last year, especially on
I don't think I have
expenses.
that for last
Yeah.
year. Nope, all that paperwork and you got me.
But it is 29%. I just did the 28.9. Whoever put 25%, that's not
So
correct.
29 is the actual.
28.95 is really what it
Okay,
is.
so that would be
It's
29.
29.
Yeah,
29%.
Somebody's messing with us.
it's a little better.
But either way, halfway through and only a portion.
Yeah.
But again, some of these departments, they spend things up front. It's not like even you divide by 12, you know what I'm saying? They
That's
buy-
why I asked, the
bunch of
opening up
books.
of these
Yeah.
linear or
Yeah, I look at that, and if we see
on
a
demand.
pattern next month where it gets down lower than that, then we might ask a question, say to the librarian, you know, what's going on. I mean, she's pretty good with spending her money. I mean, I don't think anybody actually goes in the negative, you know, the red.
I was thinking more in terms of budget cut if they're not spending the money.
Maybe they always will find a way.
That's,
They also, on their budget, they have to spend a certain amount for books and
Yeah.
everything else.
To be qualified for the state, yeah.
Yeah.
what was
Yeah, they
that?
have a
Yeah,
requirement.
this is a requirement on the library.
Okay, page 11.
The question I had was on the Pine Grove School feasibility interest, down, the third one up from the bottom there, the 93,000 and the 55,000 for the safety building in the school. They paid 182,000 out of the 276 and 107 out of the 162. And then there's like a remainder there. Is that going to be paid, or is that just? I mean, I don't assume that that's to be surplus, but it's like 33%. Do they pay that
Well,
in
this is
chunks?
in your interest then, right?
Yeah. I just
Yeah, I think it's paid in chunks.
okay. So that 93 and the 55,000 will be paid before the end of the fiscal year. That's not
Right.
just not a surplus, because I know there won't be a surplus, but they do pay it in chunks, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like any of us do on our mortgages and
Yeah.
make payments.
And then the only other thing, on the Essex County retirement, I know we put X amount of dollars, it's never really what we should be, but we appropriated 949,717, and we have like a balance of 18,051. Now that's not, I don't assume to be paid in chunks, so I mean, Debbie's the only one that probably can answer that, and, but that's just like, I was wondering why there was 18,000 left over there, why it wasn't paid all at once, you know?
Or it could be that we overestimated.
Overestimated, you think?
It's a possibility.
Yeah. Because I
See
think,
as it goes on.
because usually that account, we're probably millions of behind, and we always throw money towards it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that would have all been spent at once, but I didn't. It was just
Maybe
curiosity.
in chunks, because last month we had the same numbers.
Same numbers,
Yeah.
18,000 left over.
Right.
So that's probably I don't know where they got that 931,666, you know what I mean? Is that something that Essex County Retirement gives us and says, I don't think so, right? Assesses for retirement. I guess it's just more of a curiosity question than anything else. Maybe we can ask, Debbie at some point, not necessarily right away, it's not important, but I just want to understand that, that's all.
Okay. Well, we can do there.
Let's have somebody later.
Thirteen. Any questions there? Concerns? 14.
Water department is very healthy, 64.5%, bottom line number.
You did say water department is current year budget 92,000, they have 82,000 remaining. They only spent, I mean, on what line is that? Salary, water department, is,
That's for the superintendent's salary.
oh, okay, oh, that's
They don't have one,
superintendent, so I
so-
guess they don't have one, because they only spent
Yeah.
like 10 grand, okay.
Yeah, it's 89%. And then the wages are 70.4, so they're healthy there.
Even the wages for the water department are maybe.
Yeah, 71% left over, so they're healthy there. Again, because they have a
Very
couple
healthy.
positions open.
Because they
Well, I know there's positions
don't have the
open.
people
being-
to pay.
And I know we pay the highest water rates in the state too, so let them, that's totally nuts too. I don't know what kind of reserve that we need to have for the water
Well, they need
department when we
to,
help
they
it.
need, the state says you need to hire these people, so the salaries have to be there
Yeah, I know, but
if we find the people, and if apparently we're not paying enough to be able to get people to come in.
$1 million,
They have over $1 million. They have over $1 million, over.
A million in the reserves?
Yeah, oh yeah, over,
Yeah, I mean,
way
this
over.
is, I mean,
The
well,
water board meets Tuesdays at 7.
Go and ask them.
Yeah,
I mean, they, they set the rates,
I know they do, yeah.
so, that's
maybe
the
maybe
best
they're gonna
place
adjust them
to.
this year.
Do you know what time of year they set the rates,
They
Larry?
can set them anytime.
Anytime they want.
They don't need to
Oh,
wait.
really?
They
This
don't
was
wait.
set, okay.
Yep.
I thought it was like for the next fiscal year, okay.
Okay. 15. Any questions? 16. Okay, any other questions?
Down to setting dates, huh?
I think that's where we're at. Set dates for future meetings.
I'm assuming departments must be doing their budgets now, right?
Well, he just said they're gonna send out the packets to the department heads.
Okay, so that we're gonna be crunched
Oh,
because this
yeah.
is a little later than
We're
normal,
late
isn't
this
it?
year.
Yes.
We're going into March, because usually by early April,
yeah.
we have to have everything wrapped up so they can and get all the articles done,
Yeah.
review them, and they're gonna print and mail them out at least 2 weeks before town
Town meeting,
meeting.
yeah.
That's the first week of May, right?
14th, I think, right?
What?
14th, 14th?
No, the
meeting.
first
It's
Monday
usually
in
like
May.
around the 7th or the
The
5th.
14th is the
Oh,
election.
The election, right.
Yeah.
See.
So we're really gonna be in a real crunch, I think, for March.
That's why I say if we're gonna meet twice a week or something like that, I need
Yeah.
to know that, because my schedule, I'm already at work into April already.
Last year, I think we started in mid-February, so we haven't seen a single budget.
Because they haven't come in yet.
Yeah.
And the selectmen didn't meet last night.
Right.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I saw an article in the newspaper that Triton is having these meetings that you can pop in and ask questions, only they're during the day.
Well, there's a
2
FinCom meeting
this
tomorrow.
This Thursday.
1 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock, there's the public meeting. But I don't know if there's gonna be a snowstorm.
It's
whether
here
they're gonna-
too, right?
No.
The district meeting's here, right, in Raleigh, Town Hall?
It's at the, yeah, it's here this Thursday, they have in their district communication meeting.
And it's here in Raleigh, yeah. At the Town Hall, I think.
What?
At the Town Hall, I
Yeah,
think.
I think it's upstairs, it's supposed to be upstairs. Unless it's really cold, then they might have it over at.
Library.
Brian Fordett mentioned having it over at the gym or something too. Over the,
Well, they can't move it unless they post it, you know, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think they have the heating system up and running. So,
upstairs?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, let's see. Today's the 26th.
Anybody been in the Pine Grove still? I remember what they look like.
Oh, I've been in there, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. It's looking really nice. But then again, all the stuff that I'm interested in is painted over and glossed over and stuff like that. Okay, so we meet Tuesday, the 5th,
Is that,
Next week.
March.
oh, March,
Was that? Did we decide on that before, or are we just doing that now? Because I don't, I can't make that meeting. But that's fine, we have enough members here now, so.
Yeah, that's gonna be supposedly with the school,
Oh, so that's,
so I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but. we're
so
gonna-
that's not a budget, that's basically for that
Right.
issue, okay.
And then let's go for the 12th to start budgeting.
Yep.
And the 19th.
Yep.
Let's see.
They come in, we may have to throw in some others, but we gotta see how they come in.
Right.
I don't know, last year, couple weeks, we met twice a week.
Usually there's a whole bunch of easy ones that we get
Yeah.
up front,
Yeah.
so there's just, we can get all the easy ones out. Usually that's how they come in.
Then you get
and
the
then
biggies, you
Big
know,
departments come in a
police,
little later.
fire, highway, school, of course. Water.
Do you want to go the 26th as well? Just pencil it in.
We
or-
should.
Yeah, let's do that.
Then it covers March anyway, right?
You
Right.
came in at a great time, Tom. This is our real crunch time. The rest of the year, it's,
Okay. Have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. We are adjourned, thank you.